What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So it's a huge thanks for coming back. We really appreciate you. So this week we are jumping back on Bryce's truck. Our goal is to get this truck, at least the front end, on his wheels as soon as possible. We are starting on the track bar bracket, the drag link, all that stuff right now, and we have been using this amazing 3D scanner by Einstar, the Vega. I absolutely love this thing. If you haven't seen any of my other videos kind of, using this thing and reviewing it, you guys gotta check them out because this thing is an amazing tool for anyone that does any sort of fabrication or anything like that. Like, the amount of detail that we're able to capture and the ease that we can capture it with, like this scan took me maybe a total of like 5 minutes to be able to capture. And now we have it imported into our design space on Fusion 360. And again, I know that it might look a little bit rough, but it's an amazingly good scan. And essentially what we're gonna do, as you can see, we have that pitman arm that we were designing and building in the last video, our double shear pitman arm. We threw it on the truck so that we can make a mock-up drag link. So this drag link is actually made out of PVC right now in the truck. I'll go show you guys here in a little bit. But what it will do, let me zoom in a little bit, is allow us to kind of make our track bar bracket and make it match the angle that drag link is going to have, which is the important thing. Again, I've mentioned this before, but in an ideal world, you want your drag link and your track bar to be at the exact same angle and to be the same length. So our goal is going to be to try and be as close as possible to those two things. And again, that's why it was really important to design this pitman arm and get it on there, because that's going to dictate the angle of the track bar and where we got to put the track bar bracket. So again, the goal is to make the track bar as long as we can make it. Well, hopefully as long as the drag link, and then have the same angle, because as you can see, the mock-up track bar that I had on there is a little bit taller on this end, but what I'm going to do is actually raise this end a little bit to try and match this angle, and I'll try and record some of this process. So I've been asked a lot by you guys to try and to show you how I design things. Here's the thing. I don't know the proper way to use Fusion 360. I'm self-taught, and with that comes, a lot of things done wrong or not properly like you should. Like, I don't use constraints, the way that they're supposed to be used and all that stuff. Like, I have a lot of workarounds in order for me to do the stuff that I need to do, but I'll kind of try and take you through the process, I guess, of designing. But again, just huge shout out to Einstar and the Vega, amazing tool. And talking about shout outs, if you guys are looking at that beautiful OBS on the screen, if you want to see some amazing off-road OBS videos, check out Misfits OBS. This dude has, well, an amazingly beautiful, awesome truck that truck's actually an inspiration for a future build that I want to do on the channel. But again, this guy has a few videos of just off-roading that freaking awesome truck. So go subscribe, hit him up, make sure that he makes more videos, because that's all he has right now. And we gotta get him to make more videos. So again, Misfits OBS, sweet channel. Okay guys, so update time, and I'm actually pretty excited because we've got a decent bit of progress on Bryce's truck. So like I was showing you in the rendering on the computer, we have our track bar bracket done. And this actually isn't even our final track bar bracket. This is just the first prototype that we made. Figured out a couple things that I didn't like, and then we made that one. So this is fitting a lot more like I want it to. It fits the frame a lot better. I don't know if you can tell, maybe from the side that the light is on. But we added a couple bends to the bracket. So here and right there, so that we could actually be right in line with the hardware that we want to try and use. And it lined up perfectly. We also raised it up just a little bit more to have the best possible angle with the drag link. And to keep it as centered as we can with the other side of the track bar. And honestly, I'm pretty happy. I'll try and do a better comparison on the angles, but I think we nailed it pretty good. We also, as you can see, we made a new truss for the axle, just because I didn't like a couple of things of the way of how it was fitting. This one is also fitting perfectly. We did add a little bit more clearance around the pumpkin, just because it's not getting welded there anyways. So, you know, we just want it to look good and not be, you know, too tight. So we have the new track bar bracket up top. Technically the bottom track bar bracket, the truss on the axle done. Double shear pivot arm done. Well, I guess I can't say done. We have the you know, the what I think is going to be the final prototype done. We'll call it done once everything is fully welded and, you know, finally installed on the truck. All of this right now is essentially, I guess you call it a mock-up, you know, to make sure that everything we're building is going to work the way that we want it to work. Again, the first set of prototypes obviously wasn't perfect, wasn't exactly how I wanted it. That's why we came back, we redid them, and we're a lot happier with them. So again, it's going to be kind of hard to show you the angles, but like, they are basically perfect between the drag link and the track bar. We were also able to get both bars pretty close in distance. As you can tell, we've got a pretty big offset over here. But on this side, you know, we also have a pretty decent offset. The track bar is still a little bit shorter than the drag link, but we have it to about where I want it to, where it'll work good and it won't look, you know, too goofy, because we don't want, you know, this side of the track bar sticking out way past the frame. And again, right there where we have it is perfect. Everything should have plenty of clearance, you know, moving up and down, all of that. Plenty of travel. I know that actually might look kind of tight, but I mean, that's still at least 6 inches. 6-7 inches, so that should be more than enough. Plus, this is technically where the truck is at right now. Isn't even going to be the lowest that this thing should technically be used for. We're planning on this being like an 8 to 12 inch kit, and where the truck is sitting at right now probably wouldn't even be the 8 inches. I was actually messing around with the springs earlier today, yesterday, and this truck's actually going to be sitting at least 2 to 3 inches higher than where it's at right now, which is crazy. I know, this thing's going to be ginormous. It's by far going to be the biggest build that we've done in this shop. I had kind of set it up to where about Dirty Girl was at, which up to date has been the biggest build that we've done here. So I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to land about where that truck was at. Boy, was I wrong. Like I said, I was messing with the lift springs that Bryce brought me, which he said that there were 8-inch springs, I believe. They are these bad boys, which again, ginormous. And again, like I was saying, I was messing around with them to see, you know, about how close I was to it, and I mean, it was like this far off, which again, you know, obviously once the weight of the truck is on, it's gonna compress them a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to end up a little bit higher than where it's at right now. Another thing that I want to show you, you know, it's kind of poking out under the truck, is the actual cradle. We have the first prototype of the cradle on the truck. That's a better view. So again, like I said, we have the first prototype of the cradle under the truck, and this thing looks mean. Like, I am super happy with the way that it looks, the way that it's turning out. There's a couple things that we got to modify to it, but again, we needed to make the first prototype to, you know, test it on here and see what it was going to do, and we definitely got to modify a couple of things. The first one being is that we actually got to lower this about 1 inch, I think, for it to look better, maybe a little bit more. And for this to have proper clearance, it's actually the heim joint is actually rubbing on the top part of the cradle, so we got to drop basically this whole pattern down at least 1 inch. Plus, by dropping it, it'll actually make it more visible and look better. So I think it'll be a win-win. So like I said, we're gonna drop it 1 inch, maybe 2, make it look a little bit beefier. And I'm also contemplating on if I want to make it longer, kind of make it come a couple inches further forward. This cross member is going to be going. We have a CFI cross member for this thing that we're going to be using. So we're not going to have this anymore. Well, we're going to be using my CFI cross member on this thing. But anyway, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe bringing it forward, you know, 4 inches to where it's about like here. But again, I still gotta figure that out, see if I actually want to do that or not. Because one thing that I was noticing with this truck is it's obviously a pretty long truck. It's a crew cab, long bed, and the bottom links, it might not look like it from the video, but they're gonna be quite long to make it all the way to the back. And same with the fronts. I feel like they need to be a little bit shorter. It'll make everything work together a lot better. But again, it's still something that I gotta sit down on the computer, design, talk to Bryce too, see what he thinks. But other than that, like it's looking mean. So what I'm gonna do now is jump back on the computer, mess around with that, see what I think, see what I like, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, so we're back in the office because I want to show you the design of the new Cradle. So this is basically what it's gonna look like. So we made it longer by 16 inches. We also dropped it by about 1.5 inches, and it's gonna look pretty freaking cool. I'm still playing around with the logo, so that's not gonna be the final version. But as you can see, we also added quite a bit more space for a bigger, better looking logo on the Cradle. Now, I want to go outside because I want to talk about something. Unfortunately, earlier today, the plasma table caught on fire a little bit, and I just got done fixing it, but we're out of time for today. But I want to show you the little oopsie that happened. So I had the plasma table running, and you know, I've gotten pretty good with this to where I know when I can leave it and when I can't. So I had it cutting. I left over to the press brake to bend a few things, and then I start smelling a burning plastic sort of smell, and I'm like, man, that something's on fire. What the heck is that? So I looked over here to the plasma table, and sure enough, there was black smoke coming from this corner of the table. So I ran over here, put out a fire that was coming literally from the cables. So what happened is that I had, you know, some labels on the cables that I just put on there with tape, with like painter's tape. And obviously, me and my infinite wisdom never thought that it's paper. And there's obviously sparks right here. So I guess a few sparks fell on the papers, caught it on fire, and which proceeded to catch the actual cables on fire. So a couple of them melted. I had to spend a little bit of time, you know, fixing that. And again, guys, luckily I was able to get it fixed, get it up and running. And as you can see, we've got a whole bunch of cross members getting cut. I love this view of this thing when it's, you know, when it has a whole bunch of things cut on the table. It's gonna finish cutting the whole sheet. But again, super cool. And then since I wasn't able to finish that full video, I'm gonna talk about a couple things that are gonna be coming on the website. One of them is already on the website, which is our shock brackets for the Sterling 10.5s. And again, this is another one of those parts that is intended to hopefully make you guys swap a lot easier. If you don't know, the 05 Plus axles, I think actually all the Super Duty axles, have the shocks where one faces the front and the other faces the rear. The OBS axles, they both face the front, sorry. So when you do the swap, you gotta, if you got the 05 through 07 axles, those come with U-bolts, the shock tabs, they're mounted with U-bolts, so you can just flip those around. But any of the newer axles, like Bryce's right here, as you can see, the shock tabs are actually welded on. So you gotta cut, this is the driver's side. So you gotta cut off the driver's side bracket and then weld the new one on. And basically that's what this is right here. This will allow you to weld your new shock tab in the correct position. So yeah, the guys, they're on the website, ready to buy. And you can buy these individually because you technically only need one. Ideally, you want to do both so they match, but it's not necessary. The next one's going to be just a little sneak peek because we're not ready to release it yet, but right there. If you guys, so that's actually a re-release. It's something that we discontinued that you guys have been asking for a lot, and we're trying to bring it back. So again, next week's video, we should be able to show you what that product is and hopefully the final design of the Cradle. And we'll start moving on to actually building the links on this thing. So again, guys, super excited for this build. It's coming together. We're hoping to have it done ASAP because I really want to get it back to Bryce and have this thing be the badass truck that it is. And I mean, Bryce has some huge plans for this truck, so I can't wait for him to finish it out. But again, guys, a huge thanks for watching the video, for following. Again, leave us a like, leave me any comments if you have any questions whatsoever. Don't forget to subscribe, because again, we have so much stuff coming. We actually have another swap project being dropped off either this week or next week. So again, a lot of content, guys, so don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you for the next one.